And before I get into today's very important topic, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my channel. My YouTube channel truly would not be where it's at today without all of my supporters. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's topic. This topic here ties directly into the concept of my channel. And the focus of this lecture is going to be how I got an 850 credit score. Like I said, anything dealing with money, how to rise above your financial situation, your financial health, all ties into the core concept of my channel. And, this is one of my favorite lectures. So how I got an 850 credit score, and I want to share with everyone that was a journey. It did not happen overnight. I can clearly remember when I was living in financial destruction from 2007 to 2012. My credit score was one of the main things that took a horrible hit. During that time in my life, I think my credit score was like at 340 at an all-time low. But now it came up over time because I was strategic in some things I did. 850 credit score. That's the highest you can get, to my knowledge. And my credit score been running at anywhere between 840 and 850, for a few years now. Prior to that, I was at like 800, a little above 800. So the key thing I tell anyone, in relation to your credit score, first of all, you got to know what's on it. And I can remember one of the first things I did when I rose above my financial situation is I got my hands on my credit report from all three major credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And they will send you those reports free. You need to know what's on your credit report. And during the time when I was living in financial destruction, I already knew I had a whole lot of derogatory stuff on there, but it's critical you get your hands on those credit reports to be able to see it. And some other things I did throughout my financial journey or my debt-free lifestyle and to where I'm at today, is 10 years before I retired, I was laser focused. I had a strategic plan on paper. Prior to me retiring, I'm going to retire, and I end up retiring September of 2023. So September of 2025 of this year, made 2 years, I've been fully retired from state government. But I was laser focused. 10 years before I retired, one of the things I did not long after I got my hands on my credit report, is one of the things I did was I said, I'm gonna put on paper and I'm gonna make it my business to be debt-free prior to retirement. And I met that goal a few years before I actually retired, September 2023. And what I mean by debt-free, people, I mean no credit card bills, no mortgage, no school loan, no personal loans, no medical bills. You owe nobody nothing. No car note, no nothing. And I was on a mission to make sure that happened. And like I said, I've been debt free for, I met that goal years before I retired. So by eliminating my debt, what I noticed was I began to see a rise in my credit score. Especially when I met all the requirements for the remaining balance of my federal student loan to be zeroed out in August of 2024. That was the final piece. August of 2023. The remaining balance of my federal student loan was zeroed out. And when that happened, that was the catalyst for me to fully retire in September of 2023. But when that happened, because prior to me meeting the requirements of the remaining balance of my $72,000 plus federal student loan to be zeroed out, it showed on my credit report that I owed $72,000 in student loan. And I was not going to enter retirement with that debt on my credit report. So when I met all the requirements for that $72,000 to be zeroed out, the federal government also alerted Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian that the remaining balance of that $72,000 of federal student debt has been wiped out. So they went in and zeroed out all of my credit reports. And when that occurred, that leaped my credit score up astronomically high because it had a direct impact on my debt to income ratio. My debt became so low against my income. And I tell folks, it ain't the money you make, it is who do you owe. And that's the power right there, because the less debt you have, that's going to give you more disposable income to invest into your financial portfolio, to put more money into your emergency savings account, to travel debt free. And that's power, people. I'm telling you, that's power. Because I'm telling you, I've been fully retired since September 2023, getting ready to hit 2 years. And every retirement check I've got since I retired, I have been in the position, based off what the skills that God has given me, to literally reinvest 100% of my retirement check into another retirement check. That's power, people. I don't know too many people in this world who can get a retirement check every month, don't even have to touch the money. And that's all because I was strategic. God gave me the skills to master my money, to control my money, and I was laser focused. Because when I was living in financial destruction from 2007 to 2012, and I remember I had a spiritual battle with God in 2012. I got tired of living like that. And I remember it was a Friday night. I remember getting home Friday night in 2012, late, tired, worked long hours. And all I can remember was I fell asleep, had a 24-hour spiritual battle with God in 2012. And when I got out of that spiritual battle, the transformation of Marie Holiday begun. The rest is history. God gave me the skills to write my book. My book hit all major bookstores about 3 years ago. Await Financial Freedom. This is a spiritual testimony. Nobody could have ever told me in a million years, when I was living in financial destruction. And I talk about one of the chapters in my book that I did something very strategic back then that had an impact on raising my credit score to 800 plus. Is at an 850 now. But I literally remember that I deliberately back then, after I had that spiritual awakening, I deliberately, for about a year, I got a credit card. I got a credit card for the sole purpose to use that to manipulate my debt to income ratio. I got a credit card with a maximum of $500 on the credit card. And every month I would charge $2 on that credit card. So that means I got $498 or $99, a couple of dollars. I charged a couple of dollars on that credit card. The rest of that money is sitting there. And by me doing that, I kept my debt to income ratio so low on that credit card, it shot my credit score up. And I did that for about maybe 10 months and deliberately. And then my credit score shot up so high. And then once I no longer needed that credit card anymore, I canceled that credit card because it had served this purpose. And that was deliberate. And even now, even though I'm in full retirement, my credit score is well over 850. And I tell folks, you don't need a credit card to raise your credit score. So many other variables in place. And this is real talk. And that is how I got my credit score be way beyond 800. I'm sustaining that credit score. Every now and then it may dip a little bit, probably by a couple of points, but it'll go up because when I look at my credit report, it literally shows debt zero. I don't owe nobody nothing. I have a zero. I have a zero debt. I was talking to my niece a couple of weeks ago. She's in her early 40s, smart as a whip. And I literally showed her my debt is zero, and it's been zero for years. So what that does is it gives me so much disposable income where I'm just reinvesting all of my retirement check. I have other streams of income to pay my little cell phone bill and utilities and food, but I have no other debt, people. And having no debt is the new wealthy. Because I know people making six figures. I know a lot of people making six figures, and they're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. They're bouncing paycheck. They're bouncing checks, overdrawing in their bank account, but they're making six figures. They're making six figures, but if a $400 emergency was to occur, they could not even handle a $400 emergency. This is real talk, people. I didn't learn none of this in graduate school. I got 2 master's degrees. The only thing graduate school taught me was how to get in debt, deep in school loan debt, deep in credit card debt. No, it took me going through financial destruction from 2007 to 2012. I can remember I was so drowning in a sea of debt. Debt hit me left and right. Credit card debt, mortgage, car note about 6 months behind. All of my bank accounts overdrawn, getting her up, going to work in it every day. Not 2 cents to my name, people. Not 2 cents to my name. No one could have told me. And you get tired of living like that. They don't teach you this, what I'm talking about. They don't teach you in graduate school. No, it took me to go through some stuff, people, to get to the point, to strategically get to the point where I do not have to work another day for the rest of my life, but I'm still using those same skills that God gave me to sustain my financial health, to continue to build my financial portfolio. I travel the world debt-free, because when you don't owe anybody anything, and you can keep a certain amount of money in your emergency savings account, it don't matter what financial emergency coming up, you can pull it from your emergency savings account, and you don't skip a beat. This is real talk. And I'm telling you, they don't teach this in school at all. So I say this to say, these are some of the things I did to get my credit score to an 850 and maintain it in terms of, being strategic with my money, eliminating debt. You got to take a look at your credit reports, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, because I can remember when I initially looked at my credit reports back then, I couldn't. It was horrible, and everything, all this derogatory stuff on there. And yeah, it was my debt. Every bit of it was my debt. But I had to literally come up with a game plan, because I talk about one of the things I did strategically when I got out of my financial destruction. It was for about 7 or 8 months, I did an impact statement. I personalized it. And I wrote impact statements at Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, explaining them to my situation. And I'm not lying, probably about 9 or 10 months later, simultaneously, they all sent me letters in literally saying all of the derogatory stuff on all of your credit reports we have wiped out. So don't believe the myth that it takes 7 years for your credit score to get cleaned up. No, I approach it from a different approach. And I'm telling you about every month, I would send them an impact statement every single month for about 10 or 11 months. And I remember one particular weekend, I went to my mailbox about 10 months in the future, and I got letters from all 3 of the major credit bureaus, and literally within the same week, where it was telling me, we have removed everything negative from your credit report. And that paid an impact also on shooting my credit score up by removing all those derogatory accounts on my credit report. So I say this to say all of that played a role in my credit report, my credit score being at 850. It goes between 848 and 850, and it pretty much stays there. And I'm telling you, if it would not have been for my spiritual battle with God in 2012, I wouldn't even be having this conversation today. I would probably be still in the workforce, drowning in the sea of debt, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. This is real talk, people. So share this information, and also do not forget, March 29th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to do another live stream lecture on how to write a successful business goal. This is one lecture you do not want to miss. These relational live stream lectures I've been doing for about a few years now, where I will market a specific live stream lecture, show up at the time that I'm supposed to show up, present the information, and keep it moving. That's all I have. Simple Fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.